Okay, hello everybody. We have the Game Award nominees today. No fancy intro. No tagline. We just got to get into it because I'm going to be flying out of town tomorrow. But before I leave, I need to know what you, myself, and the panel here with Rob and Kel, who we all think will win various categories at the Game Awards this year. It's pretty fresh, so maybe things will change over time as we have like 3 weeks to decide. But here we are to decide who will win. Best sound design, best score, best performance, narrative, and so on and so forth. And here to do that with me today is who I wanted on the fantasy draft with me last week, but now I gave them dibs for this. Rob and Kel from the Gaming Duo podcast. Kelvin, hello. How's it going?
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Rob, hello.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
Good. And yes, guys, I hope you've been good. Like, I know, like, we're just kind of setting up this whole time, but I don't know. I'm happy to be with you. So
it's been a while, I feel like, and it's actually been a while for us to like actually be on like recording. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I was wondering.
And yeah, definitely wanted to do last episode, but unfortunately we weren't able to. So we're here now, and we're ready to talk about the nominees. So I'm ready.
Yeah. How about you, Rob? Any new things you've been playing, things you've been observing on the webs?
No, I've just been following everything kind of closely. We've been a little bit MIA when it comes to the podcast, but we're going to be coming back pretty strong here the next couple of weeks. So I don't know about you, Kelv, but I'm pretty pumped to get back into the swing of things. And thank you again for having us on. Thank you for dipping this for us, because I was gonna be really sad if we couldn't do something Game Awards related. That would have been awful, tragedies. But
I was wondering that too, man. I was like, man, am I don't know if like if I'm giving them a chance here or something. And I was like, man, if I am, then I'm gonna be happy, because I was like, cool, I could give them a chance to like talk about it. And me too. It's like I tell you guys all the time, like, you're two people I just absolutely love to talk about the thing that I love most in this world, and that's video games. And I'm just going to confirm I am going to the Game Awards. I don't know if you saw that, but I moved forward on that. So it's pretty nuts.
Awesome. Going to live vicariously through you. So
I'm so pumped for you, dude.
It's so nuts, man. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how
this is your first time.
I mean, yeah. And of all the ones too, I would like, after I got it, I had no idea, like, for the 10th anniversary. Mm-hmm. It's a 10th anniversary, and I had no thought of that until after I booked it. I'm like, oh wow, that's actually kind of perfect. So
dibs on you for when you get on our podcast to tell us about your Game Awards experience. So can't wait to hear about that.
I would love to. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do afterwards, because it's so different for me, but I will say, going into this, man, there's so many categories we like are going to go over, and what I don't want, I'm sure there's plenty for us to say about like how potential Game of the Year situations or maybe like certain ways categories work or whatever. And I don't want to spend too much time on it. This is what we're doing. And let me just lay this out, because maybe you both are curious too. My goal here, I was debating about this, is I just want to imagine the three of us are hypothetical panel members. Sure. We are potential people that are submitting, what our votes are. And rather than predicting what we think will win, we can feel free to share that. If you want to, feel free to share, like, yeah, I think Tekken 8 will take this or whatever. But I would personally submit that's what we're doing. So does that make sense?
Yeah, so we're acting as basically one of the gaming outlets or critics that are putting in the vote for this, essentially.
Yeah,
correct.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, we are, which might be interesting, because sometimes if like two of us say one thing and then the other person says another, it's like, that's the fun tier list things.
Yeah.
is like that's how it's like, all right, it's settled kind of thing. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Are we going through every single category?
so this is how I want to put it, is like, if you honestly think like, I don't think I have fair enough say to really vote on something here, but my only comment is this, or I don't have a comment or whatever.
Okay.
We'll just skim through each category and then just stop when when it seems like, okay, I think we all have something to say here, or just, we'll just kind of go through, and I'll just ask, does anybody have anything to say here, kind of a thing.
Perfect.
So
Let's
that
do
works.
this.
yeah. But shout out to Supertone, shout out to Steffi, Gotham, Danny, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I want to make sure. Can I get all? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. I was worried I didn't have you guys on my B-roll screen, but so if you're watching the stream, you'll see on screen the Game Awards website. And Rob and Kel, you guys see this too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just work our way backwards to the top. and I do want to get from you guys too at some point any snubs that you have personally. Maybe we'll get to that after we get through this bottom row before we get into really the heavy categories. But do either of you have anything to say about esports stuff?
I'm gonna pass on this one. I don't really have much to say about this. I used to like
about
depends
any
on
of
who
them,
it-
because there's esports team, athlete, and I think coach. Oh no, just game. Okay. So I don't know if you have anything to say on any of those three categories, but I have nothing.
I will add one thing to
Okay.
it. I want to be better at keeping up to date to these things, because there is a lot of hype
esports?
on esports. Yeah, I want to, like, for example, League of Legends. Whenever I'm watching like a League of Legends like match happening, like from an esports team, it's always so hype.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna tell myself for next year I'll be able to actually contribute to these categories. So future me, I'll be able to actually pick.
We have to make a clip of that and then send it to you.
Yep,
See if you lived up to it. Yeah,
Yes,
I
it's
could say, like,
hard.
when I went to the Halo World Championships last year, it was a vibe, man. That was cool. But yeah, I don't have nothing to add to this. So, but that's a comment. Anything about a content creator of the year? We have Casio Ilojwan, I can't say that name. Techo Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Pecora. I actually don't know any of these guys.
I don't know any of these guys either. They're more like up and coming. I would assume. I assume this category is more for like up and coming. So I don't know any of these people, but salute to them for being nominated.
Yeah, what an honor. Like that's cool. We all would dream of that
Can you
situation.
imagine?
So
Can you imagine all
you
three?
missed-
Can you imagine like the gaming duel? Samurai KBG. Right? Friday
I
Night Game
spoiled
Cat,
it for
like,
you
oh my
guys.
God.
It's actually like I'm disguised as Illujuan, and that's why I'm going in the game.
Okay, that makes sense.
There you go.
Awesome.
So okay,
There we go.
I figured that we didn't have much to say about those, but our first thing before we get into games this year is most anticipated game, where we have recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. And I would also argue these are all games that are pretty confirmed to come out in 2025. Maybe that's the other reason. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have something to say. We have Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghosts of Yotei, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4, and Monster Hunter Wilds. And I forgot to comment about this, but Josh killed that fantasy draft. Holy
that. I
shit.
did
Did
see
you
that.
see? Like,
Yeah,
he killed it.
murdered it.
He murdered, and I sucked. Like, my whole column was just
18
red.
points.
Yeah, he
Come
had like
on,
two
man.
things that were red off the thing, and like
He
just-
almost had a clean sweep.
Yeah. That was absolutely
Yeah.
absurd. Kudos
I
to you,
forgot
man.
to shout that out. So shout out to Josh. But this was the category that he got, like, one of the many that he got 2 of 2 with Monster Hunter Wilds and Ghosts of Yotei. I'm shocked to see Metroid Prime 4 because that was like a Hail Mary that I drafted it. But anyway, I think this is a fun category personally. I don't know how you guys feel, but I
do like this
anticipating
category because it makes you, everyone anticipates games in the long haul, right? Like you're always thinking about, oh, what's next? like what's coming next year, right? So this is a really cool category to just kind of, I don't know, like look outside of what we already know and just kind of venture out and say, oh, like what's coming up next year, and just it's like a fun little kind of. I personally enjoy this category a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I would say also
ahead,
that we're kind of seeing, if you think about it, like a snapshot of potential game of the years right here. Like,
Right.
this might be
That's a good
the
point.
lineup. So that's always interesting to see that what actually makes it to the game of the year.
My prediction on this is like it's both obviously what will win, but it's also personally for me, like I'm just like no question Grand Theft Auto 6. I am like I'm looking forward to that so much, as I'm sure everybody else is. And I don't know if you guys have a different. I know both. Like we know Onyx is hyped for Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't know
For sure.
Is there anything here that hypes you more than Grand Theft Auto 6?
Yes,
I'll let you go, Kelf.
I think Metal Gear, Metroid Prime 4 is like really up there on my list. But I'm like clearly, I didn't even turn it on. I forgot to turn it on.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge Metroid fan, but I would argue like, what if you take out Grand Theft Auto 6 from this list? Because I feel like Grand Theft Auto just like blows everything here. Like once you have Grand Theft Auto on the list,
Yeah,
like,
it's
you're done.
GG. Yeah.
The kids are showing up to the pro skater.
Yeah, so like,
Right.
let's play a little bit here. Imagine if GT wasn't here. Like what would be more of a more anticipated game of the year?
I
Well,
see
again-
Deuce in the chat shouting out, the Game Awards forgets to add Doom the Dark Ages as the most anticipated. Like that is that's my number 2 or number 3 for sure.
Yeah.
But something else I should have disclaimed at the beginning is that every category here is not decided by Jeff. It's not
Right.
decided by his
Yep.
board. He
Yep,
literally, like, they all reach out to over 100 media outlets all over planet Earth. So it's not them picking it. It's just whatever the industry had top of mind or submitted for each of these categories.
Sure.
So it's not like Jeff forgot it. It's just that everybody else was like, yeah, these 5, I would say I'm more excited to look forward to. But yeah, I'm with you, Rob. Sorry, Kel. Like, whatever the backup would be, I have no idea. If Hollow Knight was for sure coming out, maybe. But I'm definitely Doom Dark Ages. But I like the obvious answer here is Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah. Gotham in the chat says, if not GTA, it would be DS2 for me. So, there's a lot of Death Stranding fans. A lot of people like that game. And so Death Stranding 2 is a huge game that's coming out. And I can definitely see that being, nominated for or, winning anticipated game of the year. But like a lot of people are also interested in Ghost of Yotei. Like obviously Monster Hunter Wild is huge. So it could go either way, man. Like if GTA wasn't in this category, I don't really know who would win.
It would be such a tighter category for sure.
It'd be for sure much more tighter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go based on exactly what it's saying right on the description here. A game that is illustrate potential to push the gaming medium forward.
Right.
When I look at Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, I think they're going to be absolutely incredible games. But they are sequels and they are extensions to what is already out, right, to their first games. Similar to how you see a God of War Ragnarok, similar to Spider-Man 2, right? They're going to be extensions of those games. Metroid Prime 4, obviously super hyped for that, but I don't think it's going to pull the gaming medium forward. Same thing with Monster Hunter Wilds. I think it's going to be an absolutely huge upgrade to to World, right? But Grand Theft Auto is going to push the gaming medium forward. It is going to be such an impactful game. It's gonna everyone is gonna nonstop talk about it for months and months and months, even years, right? Like that is a game that is just gonna be. I don't have words for it because it's just so huge. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. How long ago?
2013.
And it's still talked about, and people still play it like actively.
Yeah.
So
And not only that, but like when the first trailer came out for 6, you saw how crazy that was. That monumental
It
trailer.
became like the amount of attention it got. Yeah, it's like
Well, was it like
it's
a week
just
before
as
the
you said,
Game
Kel.
Awards?
This is unfair.
Yeah, it was a week or a few days before the game, like the actual Game Awards last year. But like regardless, it was like a few days or a week before the Game Awards started. So like, and it made an impact. So that's just a trailer,
I think this is a neat thing Gotham says. Well, everything in this list is a sequel. That's true. That's true.
yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. Mm-hmm.
So pretty unanimous. GTA 6 on this one. Next one.
Yeah.
Best adaptation.
Ooh,
and I have a comment about this, but best adaptation, another category that I'm glad it exists. We have Arcane, assumably for season 2, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon Yakuza, and Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but like, admittedly, this category, it's purely off of word of mouth that I have to say anything. I don't know if either of you have seen at least 2 or 3 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
I've seen. Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've seen 4 of these.
Oh,
Not
wow.
in their entirety. Like I haven't finished Knuckles or Tomb Raider, but I have watched them. So.
I was gonna say 3 out of the 2 here. I haven't watched Tomb Raider, nor have I watched Like a Dragon yet. So,
wow, this is actually, that's helpful, because admittedly, I haven't, like, the only thing I've watched here was Arcane, and I've started season 2 as of this week, and it, based off of the way it's starting off, I'm like, season 1 was a damn masterpiece, and so far season 2, it feels just as good. However, I definitely think like it's a little bit, it's still, it just came out and they're nominating it, kind of a thing. And I don't know if that's because nothing else comes to mind, which admittedly I can't think of anything else, or what, I don't know.
It is a light year for like video game adaptations, right? This year, like you think of last year, right? I know we had like Super Mario. We had, what else did we have? Super Mario was like, didn't we have like another Sonic? Like Sonic 2 came out last year, or was that?
No, I think it was the year before.
The Last of Us. The Last of Us came out last year as well.
Yeah.
So that
was like
big,
a hands
right?
down thing. Yeah.
For sure. Exactly. This year, I mean, if I had to pick, obviously one, right? Recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts to a video game on another entertainment medium. I think for me, that would probably be Arcane, because I feel like that really is faithful to what it is, right? I mean, it's a damn masterpiece, like you said. Personally, for me though, I would probably pick Fallout. Fallout was really well done.
Yep. So you're saying you think like Arcane will win, but you would
I think
personally
Arcane
vote Fallout?
will win, but I think for me personally, I would pick Fallout, and I'm hoping I'm hoping Fallout wins.
Yeah, I think it's easily between those two. Like I don't think I think Knuckles, Like a Dragon, and Tomb Raider are kind of just along for the ride here.
They're like more B rated.
Which funny enough, this seems to be like the best
things.
adaptation category a lot of the time. I feel like it's usually just down to 1 or 2, because everything else is like okay. I like, for now, I definitely, I guess I would potentially vote Fallout, but I don't feel like I could have a fair vote here because I haven't indulged in these enough, and I just basically know word of mouth of all of them. So, Rob, I don't know if you have anything.
No, I said no, Like, what am I gonna say? For Fallout, they did an absolute incredible job with turning it into live action. I feel like it's so much harder to take a video game and make it live action and make it a well done live action. I think it's a lot easier to make it animated. It translates really well in that medium, but when it comes to live action, it's tough. It's tough, man. And I think they knocked it out of the park with how the characters felt, but it also felt fresh to the series. So they did perfect casting, I think. But then you have Arcane on the other side, right? And that show is just absolutely beautifully done. And I kind of like this category because it's funny to see the amount of people that don't normally watch games or play games start watching these shows and seeing these stories about these video games, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it becomes a gateway. Like somebody brought up earlier, like they would say Fallout because the 76 player base exploded after the show. That's right. Exactly. Like,
so I'll take like my sister and my fiance, for example. They don't care about anything about League of Legends at all, but they cannot stop talking about Arcane. They're hooked on it, right?
Stephanie?
So
wow. Impressive.
Yeah. Just absolutely just can't wait to get to the next episode. Love the characters, love that world. And to me, that's a testament to be able to get people who don't even care about the lore or didn't even know about the game previously and just be so enamored by it. I think it goes to Arcane, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say that's both like what you think will and what you would vote?
I would vote Arcane regardless. I think Arcane and Fallout have a pretty good, they're pretty even footing. So I'm going to pick Arcane.
Okay, cool.
I will say, Rob, you were 100% correct when you said it's so much harder to translate a video game to a live action as opposed to like, making it kind of like a, just like Arcane, for example,
Animated,
right?
right.
And animated, exactly. So like having the casting, that casting has to really like send that message out to the audience and like really you have to like make it so that it is believable and it makes sense with the Fallout series. That's really hard to do, and I think they nailed it. But again, to your point, I think Arcane's gonna win, but I personally think Fallout should win.
Next one. This is where I come in, man.
Best Tony.
Best multiplayer. This was a category in that fantasy draft I really wanted to talk about, but nobody but me submitted. So we have best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. We have Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Yeah. I definitely have comments, but I don't know, is this my category, or do you both like... Well, you both played Helldivers 2 a good deal, right?
Yeah, I would say it's tough because I didn't play Warhammer Space Marines multiplayer, and I also didn't play Tekken 8 and Super Mario Party Jamboree, so I'm going to be an X for those.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, Tony. Did you play those?
Like, this is a category that I'm like, I experienced offhand so much of Helldivers 2 and Tekken 8, and then Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and Space Marine 2. I played all three of those. So, yeah. And to me, like, this, these are all solid picks. This is literally what I thought. Like, off the top of my mind, I knew Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, and Mario Party Jamboree would be here. I did not expect Space Marine 2. That was a really shocking surprise to me, because I don't know. Like, I knew people were enjoying it, but I didn't think they were enjoying it for the multiplayer. They were enjoying it for the gameplay. And so, and it's not quite a full multiplayer, but it's full enough. And maybe it's because of the way it's like Helldivers 2. It's structured enough to give people that feeling of the old days, that it doesn't have all these do your dailies and blah blah blah. So yeah, I get why it's here. Like, to me, I think what will win is Helldivers 2. What I would vote for is probably still Helldivers 2, even though that's one that I haven't played. Because like, everything I was hearing from that and what it was doing, like, there is a category I want to talk about it later, but it felt like, in terms of a multiplayer, everybody was united, and that's just something we don't get anymore. I wanted my baby the finals here. If the finals was here, I would root for it long day.
I'm surprised it's not here. That's
that's what I mean. Like,
shocking.
if Space Marine 2, if I could swap that out with anything, it would be the finals. But I think everything else here deserves to be here. But
I would swap Tekken 8. I'm kind of surprised Tekken 8 is on this. Like, yes, I know it has a following for sure, but like,
its multiplayer is pretty good, man.
I know, but like, I don't know. To me, it's weird to see this here with the category that we have, like with the other nominees. But
well, it was like last year. I think Street Fighter 6 got nominated for best multiplayer. And so
Can
it's
I
like,
ask?
Yeah.
Why isn't Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero here?
Because people aren't really into the multiplayer. They're into what the game is. Like the thing I think about with best multiplayer is like how much content is in at launch, how seamlessly does it all blend in, what's the playlist like, what's the customization like, are there barriers to doing certain things? And when I keep hearing, because I know a handful of people that have Sparking Zero, they're like, I actually live with somebody that has it, and he's like, I don't bother with online because everybody's too sweaty there, and I just want to have fun. And there's like no for fun game type or anything like that, apparently. And so like, I just, that's what I'm hearing. They love the game, but just the multiplayer experience, it's like, you want to come over and play it kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes way more sense versus you're gonna fight the same guy that's using the meta character and like constantly. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing too, is that there is like, I guess, some power level meta situations too. So it's like, I don't know. So maybe that's another reason these are all here, is because they're balanced. But Gotham Guardians, no Suicide Squad.
Yes, right. Seriously. Yeah. For good reason.
I'm
but
with
yeah.
you, Tony. Though I think Helldivers is my pick, and it's gonna win because it was such a phenomenon when it actually like hit, and it was everywhere, man. Like you saw this on TikTok, you saw this on. Everybody was talking about it. Like this was something, and it's multiplayer only. So like this was something that really changed the industry for that amount of time. And everybody was talking about it. So Helldivers 2, I think personally deserves it, and I think it's gonna win as well.
Yeah. How about you, Rob?
I'm going to be the outlier, and I'm going to say it's not going to win. I don't think Helldivers 2 will win. And my reasoning is, yes, at the time, it was fantastic, and everybody was losing their minds over it, and there was a lot of hype. But who's playing it right now? I don't think there's a ton of people. I'm not saying there's not any people playing it. I'm saying that compared to what
shift
it was,
too. Like
not even close, right? And so with that, I'm going to go with Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
It's worthy of being here, man.
It's a safe one there for you.
Yeah, but also too, this is the first Call of Duty that I've come back to after all the recent releases. That I'm like, they actually listened to a lot of the fans, and they gave you so much in the multiplayer. And it just feels like a full package, right? Whereas the other Call of Duties previously that they were releasing, it didn't feel like a complete package. It just kind of felt like
it's such a complete package, dude. I'm so glad you said that. Totally agree.
And this one really does feel like home. Like when I go to multiplayer, it's like it's such an easy point of entry for anyone to play, right? Like, okay, you don't want to spend $60, go download on Game Pass, right? And try it out with me. Download it real quick, and then just like your friends are hopping in. Like the other day, Tony, you just like came in randomly, and we were all just playing Call of Duty. And you don't really play Call of Duty that much, but we had a good time just talking and doing the multiplayer stuff. So I think for that, Call of Duty 6 is my pick.
I would argue with that simply because, and this could just be my own bubble right now, but like since Call of Duty Black Ops 6 came out, I haven't really heard much about it, and maybe it's just me, but like. It just kind of like there's nothing going on within the discourse, within the conversation of Black Ops 6 that I just don't see it. I don't know if I'm wrong, if you guys see anything different, but I don't really hear anyone talking about it.
It doesn't do
and I think
anything
that's
to
something that
reinvent.
we'll talk about later. Like I would almost argue that's for ongoing / community. I don't know if I would let that influence best multiplayer because people move on, sadly. Like that's just a thing that happens unless it's like, I don't even know, like what, like it has to do to stay in the conversation for more than 2 or 3 weeks. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm with Rob. I think it is a great package. It's super fun to play, and it doesn't feel like anything's really that missing, honestly. But we have Rob for Black Ops 6 and Kel and me for Helldivers 2. We're gonna keep going. There's a lot to hit, folks. If you're enjoying the stream, let us know. Drop an emote. So what do you think should be best multiplayer? I do see Jono joined. They had the whole PSN requirement thing, so a bunch of people stopped playing Helldivers 2. That's what I mean, man. Like we'll see if an early on game of the year and that and other things, like if it's still top of mind. Do either of you have anything to say about best sports / racing?
Yes.
I'll read it. F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K25, Top Spin 2K25, and WWE 2K24. And I'm with Ultimate Glazer. No college football is crazy. That's my only comment. I was just
gonna say that. I don't see
my only comment.
Football game whatsoever.
That game sold like as much. Speaking of Call of Duty, like that, it sold like crazy, and I'm shocked that it's not here. Shocked. But that's about it. That's all I got.
That's all I got. Yep.
The thing that it is too, it's like only people that like football, college football, will like that game for the most part. So that's like, it's basically whoever is a fan of college football is going to buy that game for them. So how many people are actually going to buy that? Because I feel like the game.
No, I'm just going to say, how big of a category is that? Like, how big of a fan base is that? Like, I know it's huge, but at the same time, is that just
somehow
America?
sports games, man, they're the top sellers every year somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow. Like I think it's like one of those things that like everybody can play, but the hardcore don't bother. That's probably what it is. So anyways, yeah, I figured we didn't really have much to say here, but
Yeah.
This best sim/strategy.
Okay.
Best game focused on a real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. We have Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kinutsugami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I already see Ultimate Glazer saying Unicorn Overlord, baby. Yeah, I don't know if either of you, my experience with this, because I am somewhat a strategy guy, I'm learning, but I've only played like sort of 2 here, and then the other 3 I'm just like word of mouth. But I'm 100% like, I don't want to actually vote on this category, but if I did, like I feel like Unicorn Overlord is the one that deserves it the most. I have a feeling, just based off of everything I've heard about it, everybody that's played it adores it, kind of a thing. But I personally wouldn't vote on that, and like I'll shout out Kinutsugami, because that is like maybe my favorite underrated game of the year. I think that game is so much fun with me and my love for Pikmin. But that's really all I got for this. Like, I don't think I would want to vote on it. I don't know if either of you have any comments on it.
You got anything, Rob?
I was gonna go ahead and say that Unicorn Overlord, and this is the only thing I'm gonna say, it is an absolutely beautiful game, and the animations are insane. I'm not.
Have you played it, or
is
is this off of like your experiences?
I've never played it, but I've watched other people play it. I've heard so much about it, but I just think that games. I wish I liked strategy games so I could get into it, but I'm just not into strategy games like that. So
they're dangerous, man.
Yeah,
they're dangerous.
Yeah, it's mostly for me, word of mouth, and all I've heard was Unicorn Overlord for the most part, which tells you that there's something special about this game, because I don't really follow anything strategy-wise, but I keep hearing about this game, so there's something good about this, right? They're doing something right. So, yeah, Unicorn Overload. I really wouldn't I wouldn't vote, honestly, because I don't really have much to say about these strategy games. But like I said, I keep hearing about Unicorn Overlord, so that's yeah. We'll see.
I see Gotham saying Unicorn Overlord has a demo, so everyone can try it. I did not know that. I would love to try that.
I think I knew that, and I still yeah.
And
cool.
I've heard so much praise about Frostpunk 1, so if Frostpunk 2 is as good as 1, and I heard a lot of good stuff about Manor Lords too, so which actually will come up in a later category. But yeah, I think all 5 of these are great picks. I'll say that based off of everything I've heard. I think they're all super awesome, and I appreciate that it's all strategy. That's another thing. Like, that's my last comment about this, is that this category sometimes, like there was the year they had Microsoft Flight Sim alongside like a strategy game or something. And it's just like, I hated that. So this year it's like, it actually seems like a category. So I appreciate that. Because nothing but strategy. So that's cool. But the next one, best family game.
Ooh.
This is a weird category for me, man.
This is a tough one. Let
me read what this says. It's best family game is for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. We have Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. And I fully understand why all 5 of these are here.
The list.
It's a really good list, like on paper. But to me, the thing that confuses me about this category is like, do you pick whatever is the highest quality overall game? Or do you pick what, like Kel, you could probably relate to this, like what you would play with the family?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like those are 2 very different things.
Well, that's what it says, right?
For it says the best game,
play. So if I look at it, Astrobot, right?
That's hands down, like that description.
Yes, but like, am I able to play with my family? Like
no,
No,
That's
you're
what
not.
I mean. It's like,
Yeah.
So to me, I just don't see that being a good game for this category. I know I understand why it's on this list here, but I would probably, I mean, if you go down the list, like Princess Peach, absolutely not. Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, no.
yeah, Peach is the
And
weakest, I would argue.
yeah,
for
and then
sure.
Plucky Squire, like I kind of put in the same category as Astrobot. And so for me, the only one that's really kind of family oriented is Super Mario Party,
yeah.
right? So,
But again,
it's
depending on what description we go with, it's like
exactly, because like I can easily like play with my son Astrobot. He loves Astrobot, by the way. He loves playing the game, and like we're kind of like going back and forth and trying to play, and that's a way of family play. But I don't see it that way. I don't read it that way either. So I see it as a party game that you can play with your family, and so Super Mario Party makes the most sense.
yeah. So you would personally vote Mario Party Jamboree. Yeah.
I would personally vote Mario Party. Now, if I'm a
But
critic,
it's complicated. It's complicated.
if I'm a critic, I would probably say Astrobot might take this.
Like that's where I sit. Like I definitely
Right?
think Astrobot will take it
And
because
it's just
we need to think back
popularity,
what
in my
happened to
opinion.
previous family. I don't remember, but I just assume like whatever was the highest quality game is what won.
Sure.
So, I'm definitely of the opinion Astrobot will win, and I'm kind of with you. It's like it just the name of the category. I would want to think like Mario Party deserves it the most, but if we're just talking the best game appropriate for the family, then yeah, I would say Astrobot.
Yeah.
Would you? Okay, let's take this. So let's take Super Mario 64 platformer. Would you consider Super Mario 64 a family game?
Like, yes.
Would you-
Yes.
But-
yes.
Okay. So what is and it's a platformer. That's a fun platformer. And you jump around and you hit stuff, and it's fun. That's what Astrobot is essentially. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Correct.
it's very weird that it's in this category. It's weird.
And it's like,
I don't think
it
it's
can be a
weird.
family thing though. Like sometimes just like, you pass the controller back and forth or
Right.
you have fun watching them play. Like that,
Exactly.
I might have just talked myself into it. Yeah, Astrobot.
Yeah, I'm going Astrobot as well. That's my pick.
Yeah. I do see people like Gotham.
I think
You guys are
Astrobot
crazy,
definitely
chat.
winning.
I see Gotham going like Stellar Blade and Super Toad Space Marine 2. Where
love
was
that.
this?
I would love if they just threw a monkey, like a freaking wrench there, and just have like Stellar Blade or something, like something wild there. That'd be crazy.
That'd
Perfectly
be so funny, dude.
Makes sense
for the
makes sense.
Oh,
kids,
Stellar Booty nominated for best.
So I need to buy that game, play it.
That's so cool. Astrobot is gonna win this. But if I had to choose, I would probably do Super Mario Party,
Jamboree.
just because it makes sense. Like obviously, I love Astrobot, but it just makes sense with what the description says. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with you there.
Yeah. Also, Nick's here. Hi, Nick.
Hey,
Nick,
what
middleman.
up, man?
Middleman. All right.
Ooh,
Okay.
there it is. There it is.
Best fighting game.
Oh, I got some
Uh,
thoughts on this one. All right.
For the
go
best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat, we have here's your Dragon Ball Sparking Zero,
There it is.
Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Game Collection Arcade Classics, Multi versus It's Back, and Tekken 8. Go
I
ahead,
just want
Rob.
to get it out of the way. I'm gonna go Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, just because
You're spicy. You're spicy.
That game
Really?
came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, Dragon Ball Z!" They just love it. This is the game, the Tenkaichi game that they really, really wanted, and it
true.
played the way they wanted to play it. Now, it pains me not to pick multiverses. It really does pain me so much.
Thank
because
you.
you can tell there was some care put into it. They really are trying to make it a thing, but there's just something about it that it just didn't ever get enough hype, enough people to play, and have people stick. So I want it to win. I really am rooting for it, but my pick is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero all the way.
Yeah.
I think it would be a fair, pleasant surprise to see Sparking Zero. I'm kind of like, I would be a cheerleader for it, but I'm no question Tekken 8 here.
Yeah,
But I also don't feel like I can vote for this because I haven't experience. I like to vote if I feel like I'm heavily associated with at least 4 out of 5, or if I've played 3 out of 5. In this category, I've played a decent amount of Sparking Zero. I've experienced a lot of Tekken 8. I played the old multiverses, so maybe I'm like in the middle here, but like it's just Tekken 8, from what I've heard, and the person I experienced it off of, he was praying that 8 would outdo 7 in so many ways because he had so many things about 7 he just wanted so drastically improved. Sure. And he's like, dude, this is it. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. It is like boom, 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 all these things that I wanted. And it was, and it's not about it, but apparently the campaign is actually really good too if you want that. But I just have heard nothing but praises for Tekken 8, and it's the one that I picture being at EVO way more than anything else here. Personally, maybe other than Grand Blue, which is another factor to me. So I'm kind of like all in Tekken 8.
Tekken 8 was a good pick.
Yeah. How about you, Kel?
This is a great list, I think. This is a really great list. But I think Tekken 8 is taking this one for sure. Now, multiverses. I know it's like no one's pick, right? But like I do feel like Rob and I have followed this game ever since it was announced, and we were kind of rooting for this game, right? We were really cheering for this game. It made some headlines when it first came out in the beta form, but it just fell off in the end, and it just nothing really changed to pick it back up. So there's a special place in my heart for Multiverses just because I wanted it to win, and I have so many fond memories of like Nickelodeon, or not Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network and all that stuff. But in the long haul, I think Tekken 8 is gonna really sweep this up for me. Marvel vs. Capcom, great, but nothing crazy. We've experienced that game before. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I agree with you, Rob. It did make headlines, but that's it. It was like 2 weeks, not even.
And I don't know, man. The people that love the game, they're still on it.
They're still on it, but I've heard that there's a drastic drop in players now, and that was not that long ago that we saw everybody playing this game. So I'm going with Tekken 8 on this one.
Yeah.
I am shocked that Rivals of Aether 2 isn't here because there's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Weird. Very weird decision.
It came out recently,
and not to bug you, but I do admit I would have put that over Multiverses. Nothing against Multiverses, but I'm like, I feel like Multiverses, it's like it just got nominated again when it got nominated previously,
Sure.
Yeah.
But we all know that's not an issue. Tease.
Yep.
So, Super Toad, I pretty much have only heard things about Sparking Zero, but I doubt that means much. And Ultimate thinks that they should have taken out Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, that's actually fair. Yeah. That's fair too. It would either or be Multiverses or the Capcom collection. I would agree with that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna keep going. This is a one that I'm definitely curious about the two of you, because I feel like I've realized that I am not much of an RPG guy. But Rob and Kel, I feel like you guys are more than me.
This is probably like the top 3 like categories for us, right? When it comes to RPGs, action adventure, and action adventure. They have 2 separate categories for that, right? Like
there's action adventure,
and adventure. Yeah.
At best RPG. I'm going to read this off. For the best game design with rich player character customization and progress, including massively multiplayer experiences. I don't know why that got tailored in at the end.
Weird.
Yeah, what is that? Including massively... Okay, anyways. We have Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. And let me tell you what, my initial thought, this was a stacked year for RPGs. I think like these are all, to me, make 100% sense. Like, and there's other things too you could think of that like could have been in here, but like these all reviewed phenomenally well for their RPG like elements. And I'm 100% with Ultimate Glazer though, and Deuce. I'm like all in on Metaphor on this. I'm not really heavily associated with these, but like I'm especially going off word of mouth because the only one I admittedly have played is Shadow of the Erdtree, but I've been like watching tons about the rest of these, and everything I've been hearing about Metaphor it's especially for the RPG stuff. Like a Shadow Dragon's Dogma 2, I've heard some cool stuff with that. But in terms of the RPG stuff, it's hard to outdo Atlas. It's especially when Atlas is at their peak, and that's what it sounds like Metaphor ReFantazio is. But where do you guys sit?
I'm gonna come in spicy on this right now,
boy.
but
Oh boy.
I've been playing 8 hours so far of Metaphor, and
my God!
it's not hooking me, man. And I don't know. I don't know if I need to go to therapy or if there's something I need to do because there's something wrong with me.
Did you say you're with him, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh shit! well, to help you, I have a buddy that's like a huge Atlas fan. He's got posters and everything, and he said he's like I'm really liking the game, but it's definitely not hitting me the way like Persona 5 did. So
exactly, and that's where I struggle right now. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I love Atlas, I love Persona, but this one's just not hitting for me right now. And
you missed the high school. You missed the high school aspect of it. That's what it is.
yeah. You finally got your non-high school game, Kel. You finally got it.
I exactly, yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted. But maybe this is just too fantasy for me. I don't know. I'm gonna keep pushing though. I'm gonna keep pushing until I'm like 30 hours in it.
Until it clicks.
And then I'll decide. I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me at 30 hours in. But yeah, man, this is a tough one. I've played 3 out of the 5 here. This is tough. I don't really know what would be the best option here because you have Final Fantasy on one hand here, which basically ticks off all the freaking categories here. Like everything about Final Fantasy 7 is production, right? And it does so well at what it does.
That's with that materia, man.
Yeah, but then you have Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, and
I feel like that shouldn't be here. I know they put it in the year, but like I don't think it should be here because it's an expansion. But
Rob, the beautiful part about that is that you don't choose it then.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right. But I feel like it's taking
that's why you don't choose it.
And I feel like it'll sub out these other two, and that would make me really upset if Shadow of the Erdtree beats out.
Can you name one other RPG that can take that spot then?
I don't feel it would deserve it, but I don't feel it would deserve it. But Dragon's Age did just come out, but that's a shout. There was another I don't remember, like Unicorn Overlord potentially. I'm not sure of the mechanics of that game, but yeah,
I just
like
think
this was a stacked year for RPGs, man.
It's on par with Final Fantasy when it comes to production and maybe more. It really depends on how you look at it, but it's a whole package, man. It's an entirely whole package deal. And yes, you need Elden Ring to play this game. It is technically considered a DLC, as we discussed on our Discord, and we had a huge back and forth between that. But at the end of the day, man, it is an entirely new game that.
We can let's shelve that for like the game of the year.
Sure.
Because I feel like we're gonna be on that.
For sure.
Yeah, because I definitely don't want to I don't want to debate each other's choices. I just kind of want to see like our reactions and what we would personally pick.
Yeah. I would say to replace that by Visions of Mana was probably a good pick. Persona 3 Reload, full games again, remake.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
But also. But Rebirth is also a remake too. Like
it's that same debate. It's
another debate, man. I don't know, but I think Final Fantasy takes this. It's just
let's just say what we would personally vote for. So like I would vote Metaphor. Kel?
I would probably vote Erdtree.
Rob?
I'm going to vote Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Yeah,
I like it. We have all 3 different ones. No shame. I'm not gonna shame Kel or nothing. Like that's for the person.
I'm not gonna shame Kel.
Well, like that's how I feel, man. It's just like it's just up to the
rich player character customization. That right there for me is.
I mean, yeah, because that's just what Elden Ring do, man. You make the build
right there.
Oh, where the hell's my vessel of hatred? Next category. Here you go. So here's that other one. You got best action adventure. Which when you look at this picture, man, this is so weird. This picture is so weird. For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, you got Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. What is Star Wars Outlaws doing here?
It's an adventure game, right?
It is. And that's
you
the
adventure
thing.
out and
totally,
you do stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And this is the thing. Like, when you look at this picture, they're all so different. They're all so
What is
different.
the middle one doing there? What is Silent Hill 2 doing there?
That's
weird,
weird.
man. I think it's the puzzle aspect to it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
honestly, I don't see anything about this being here. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. So.
Let's go on an adventure to Silent Hill. Woo!
I would
like
argue,
that's
like Prince of Persia
Nick's
as well.
in the
I
chat.
feel
He's
it
like,
just-
Silent Hill deserves to take it. Damn.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just gonna pick my pick, Astrobot, all the way. Like, not even. I think it takes that. I think Astrobot's gonna sweep a lot of picks, but Astrobot is mine just because it is just when I think action adventure, that one pops into my mind like first out of all of these.
As a critic, Astrobot. As a fan, Astrobot. There's no. This is a decent category. Besides, like, if you take out Silent Hill 2, but I think Astrobot just sweeps this for sure. It's just so weird. Like,
it is pretty weird. Like it is probably for the puzzle solving aspect of it, and that's why like Echoes of Wisdom is here. No,
that's a good pick.
But and Rob, it's like you said, like Star Wars Outlaws, like it did get fine reviews and whatnot, but
Sure.
it's the adventure aspect. Kind of like you guys were saying earlier with multiverses, and you just want to shout it out. When I look at all these and what the category is, I feel like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown should take it. Like I'm not saying that's what everybody will pick and that's what I would vote, but it's just like it has everything that I would imagine an action adventure having. You got a map that you're roaming around. You got backtracking. You got puzzle solving. You got the build and action stuff. Like, it's literally, I see it more as what the category is here. But that said, like, if we're just thinking of like the adventure you go on and the friends you made along the way, yeah, that's gonna be Astrobot.
Yeah.
So,
Jono says, "Isn't Astrobot a platformer?"
it's a platformer action adventure.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You go on an adventure, all right? You jump on stuff and you go on an adventure. So
You go on an
It
adventure.
has a
and you
the adventure
punch things
aspect
and
to
you shoot
it.
your laser.
Yeah, the adventure aspect to it is that you're trying to fix your ship. Like
find your
PlayStation.
friends. Yeah,
and find your friends. That's the adventure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. That's a good point. It is a very big adventure. So, is there a platformer category? There should be. I agree with that.
I'm surprised there isn't.
Yeah, there's
They
a lot of
literally could-
categories that, like, I miss shooter, man. I miss shooter category, but
I'm surprised they got rid of it. That's so
You're
weird.
right. Yeah.
They replaced it with this one, best action game.
A weird one. Yeah.
For the best
Okay.
game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. And this was the category that was born, because I don't remember if they had a hack and slash, but they definitely did have a shooter. But for best action game, we have Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer Space Marine 2. I think this is another category. All 5 of these, perfect sense.
Yes.
They're all different in their own way. They all have strengths.
Like, when we did the fantasy draft, like, I literally wrote all 5 of these, and I just added the finals as a 6th one because I had no idea what else I would put. Like, these are the 5 that I would instantly think of for this category. So I think, like, RPG, I have, like, little to no complaints.
Yep.
As to who would win, this is a toss-up, man. Like, I love Space Marine 2. And Nick's here too. He can vouch. Like, it's such a fun ass game, and it's such a harken to the old days, which I've heard Helldivers 2 is kind of like too. But I don't know. Like, I feel like Black Myth will win this, but what I would personally choose, what I would vote is Space Marine 2. I'll say it.
Okay.
You can't.
Yeah,
there's not a bad pick here, to be honest.
There isn't. No, all these are really good, honestly.
Yeah.
You could get away with picking any of these. But for me, I think Space Marine 2, just because, like, I mean, I'm talking to you two. It's Gears of War to holy hell.
Do we need to play this right?
I think we need to get it.
It is so Gears of War, dude. It is so, like when I played through the campaign, I said out loud, like, every level when I was playing with my buddy Taylor, I'm like, dude, this game is so Gears of War.
Come on.
We gotta play. We gotta get it. That
dude,
sucks.
I miss that feeling so much. And
sucks.
just you're like just this walking tank, and you're just it's great. I love the game. It's got this loop that's just fun, and I don't know, it never gets old to me. So I'll say Space Marine 2. How about Rob?
I'll be quick with this one, but when I looked at this category, the first thing that popped into my head when I saw Best Action Game was Stellar Blade.
Okay.
So that one is like you doing the combos, you're doing the whole slashing, you're doing the quick, parries and stuff like that. When it comes to mind, that's when I think of action game. But I didn't buy it. I only played the demo. I completed Black Myth Wukong to its entirety. And when I think of the action parts in Black Myth, and you hear like the song in the background of like, like it's about to like go on, and like you got to like really, really think about your moves, and you have to dodge right. I'm gonna go Black Myth. I think Black Myth wins this one.
There you go.
Yep.
Rob, do you see Nick's comment? Rob, Steph let you play Stellar Blade? I had to do it behind her back.
Yep. I had to do it behind him. Yep.
How about you,
This
Kel?
one's I think critic wise, I'm gonna probably say Helldivers 2.
Nice.
What the fuck?
I think
You can't go
I just
wrong with
think-
any of these, man. Like I don't think
you can't. To me, I think of this game as like so wholly just like action packed. It's just like action packed to the T, and like you're fighting against these aliens and doing all these crazy stuff, and it just feels like a complete like Michael Bay kind of scene. In my
you're
opinion.
right.
You know what I mean?
I didn't.
It becomes a huge set piece, like every game.
Yeah, the set pieces all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Now, Black Myth Wukong is my pick. I would definitely love to see it win, but I kind of like to see Helldivers get that.
Well, wait a minute. So what?
Yeah, what are you picking? What is your pick as a critic?
So as a critic, as me being in the panel, it's going to be Helldivers 2. Helldiver 2 is going to win this.
Okay.
Me personally, I would like to have Black Myth Wukong win.
Oh my god. Okay.
I feel like that it's Black Myth because I guess you're saying like, okay, look, I think Helldivers 2 deserves it the most, but I'm kind of rooting for Black Myth. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying if I'm in the panel, right?
Yes.
If I'm someone in the panel, I'm saying Helldivers 2 is going to win.
What would you cast your vote on?
That's a personal opinion then. I would choose Black Myth.
Okay, that's your vote. Like, that's what we're saying. It's like if you were the panel, and
we're
you
just doing one.
your
We're just
vote,
doing as a critic, you're a gaming outlet, and you have to submit one vote.
your vote matters. You're not thinking what the panel will pick. It's just what your vote counts. What you would submit, kind of a thing.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's one of those two anyway.
Helldivers 2.
Okay,
that's all I'll say.
Okay. Well,
very good.
I like it. We're all three split on that. That's cool. But shout out to Black Ops 6 and Stellar Blade, because there really is no wrong answer here for sure, in my opinion at least. We'll see. I'm very curious which one will take that. Do either of you have anything to say about Best VR AR? We have Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellslinger VR, and Metro Awakening.
I keep hearing Batman is really good, but I don't even know how it looks like, to be honest. So
that's my only comment. I'm kind of rooting for Batman in this. I'm sure Asgard Wrath 2 will take it, but I've just seen and heard so much good stuff about Batman Arkham. And I'm kind of hopeful too, because if it wins that, it might influence things. So, I always root for the things that actually could make an impact. So, Jono though says Metal Hellslinger VR. I have to try that. Yeah. No, that'd be fun. But it sounds like we pretty much don't have nothing for this. So next, mobile game. Do we have anything for this?
So easy. Pokemon.
I mean, when one's nominated for Game of the Year, but then again, you guys, let me just read this. So best mobile game, for the best game playable on mobile device, we have AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Hero. Now, the reason I bring this up is because your guys' Discord, you won't shut up about Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There's a good
we had to
reason
make our own category for that.
Yeah, we had to make our own separate channel for it because we wouldn't shut up about it.
You did, yeah.
Now-
I was like, you guys just might as well. Like, you've talked about it constantly the past couple days.
Now, what's this Balatro I keep hearing? Because again, another game I've heard so much about, haven't seen anything about it, but I keep hearing good things about it.
I was gonna say, like, just word of mouth. I would be shocked if you haven't heard about it, because I've heard about it like all year, because it's just the thing that I keep hearing just brought up casually all the time, and it's I don't know if it's. Jono says it's like a roguelike poker game, which sounds crazy.
That's cool. Yeah,
I tried Inscription. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. That was like an indie game nominated a couple years ago. Kind of similar, and a lot of people liked Inscription a lot too. But Balatro is just hitting people hard. And
yeah,
I'm not voting for this category because I can't say, but I'm gonna assume like you're rooting for Pokemon.
No, I mean, I haven't played anything else besides that,
Okay,
so it's really hard for me to even choose. But
yeah, that's what I figured. Like, we can't. Yeah.
I've been playing Pokemon and I've been loving the crap out of it. So, yeah, that's all I'll say.
I will say about Pokemon, just based off of our experience, is that it's turning people who never cared about Pokemon cards, and they've picked this game up and they care about Pokemon cards now. Like they, I was over my sister's house yesterday and her fiance was there, and I was like, "Hey, did you download a Pokemon Pocket?" He's like, "No." I was like, "You should." He downloaded it, and within, I was there for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. He did not put it down the entire time. He was obsessed with it. Borderline, going to spend some money on it. So, I think the fact that the game could be that addictive that quickly to someone, I think it's only been out for what, maybe a month, if that.
Yeah.
Less than that, 2 weeks.
Less than that, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks, and it's like, now I will say something about Baltro. How do you say that?
Balatro.
Balatro. It's a poker type of game, and people love their poker, right? They love card games like that. So that's a tough one to go against. I'm gonna go Pokemon
nominated for Game of the Year, so. Which is nuts. If it's a mobile game and it's nominated for Game of the Year, holy hell.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's one of those games that it's just like, it's not necessarily, it wasn't made for mobile. I'm just assuming it's like everywhere. Maybe I'm wrong though. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't pick because I would have to play that game to make a decision if you can go up against Pokemon. Yeah. So I'm gonna skip on that. Yeah.
I will vouch for Rob though, like a good card game based off of an existing IP or card game. I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh because of Yu-Gi-Oh Master Tools. So.
Nice.
Yep. I got Egyptian gods and everything. So, next category, we have Best Debut Indie Game. For the Best Debut Indie Game created by a new independent studio. So this is their first game ever. That's what this category is. We have Animal Well, Balatro, again, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire. I really thought Pacific Drive was out. Like I was like, that didn't come out? Oh my goodness. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've only played 2 of these.
Yeah, there's only 2.
Squire and Animal Well.
Yeah. I feel like I have to vote for an indie game though. I have to vote for one just because.
Well, you could say it for the best independent game if you want. But I get you. It's like a category you feel bad that you don't have a proud vote kind of a thing.
I will say Animal Well, surprisingly, it was a fun experience playing that game.
Yeah. These are all 5 like for a debut game. They're awesome. Like well done to each of these studios for their first game ever.
Squire, man, like that was a very like bold game to come out for their very first time. And it it didn't do amazing. I don't think. I think it was kind of like on the 7s or 8s. Yeah. But it did change the way you see indie games in a sense of like the production in the Plucky Squire is top notch in my opinion.
Something about that game bothers me.
The Plucky Squire.
Yeah, and I think it's the amount of people have been talking about that game. And it was a very, very overhyped game. And then it came out and it wasn't that great. It was fine. It was middle of the road, right? I want to say it's not that great. And
can I explain that? I think it's because Devolver Digital like when a Devolver Digital game comes out, then it's usually very marketed or talking to the town. Potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. But yeah, so that's my whole thing with Plucky Squire.
Mhm.
Animal Well, very good. But I was also frustrated. I was personally frustrated by it because I sucked at it, and I was just like, I just want to get up that one little ledge, and I can't get up that ledge, and I have to. Yeah. If I had to pick, I'll probably go Balatro.
Yeah. I would say I'm pretty well versed with 4 out of 5 of these. Balatro is the only one that I'm very unfamiliar with in terms of like exact reviews and everything. But I played Animal Well, I've played the Plucky Squire, I've watched a great deal of Manor Lords. I actually got to try out Pacific Drive at PAX. So like they all deserve to be here. They're all great. If I was like part of the board for a first game, that's what I would think of. Like for a first game ever, and for this studio, I think like what I want to see this studio do more. That's what I would think. I want to see the studio do more. And with that in mind, even though the Plucky Squire is not the best game of this bunch, I kind of would want to see what the studio does next. So I would probably say the Plucky Squire. Again, not because it's the best one here, but I think I feel like the studio has potential that they could continue, but that's what I would say.
Like that.
But if you want like actual best independent game, here's that category. For outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system, you got Animal Well and Balatro again. But newcomers, here's Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Shout out to I love that UFO 50 is in this list.
Yep.
Because like that game is an insane concept of just like there's 50 games in this one game, and apparently each of the games could just be a game in itself, and that's nuts of a concept. So I'm really glad that like got in here. But if I thought of just best independent game, this is where I would vote Animal Well, because I definitely think quality-wise, Animal Well is, even though I love the studio that does Neva, and I think the concept UFO 50 is great, I think Animal Well, similar reasons why I love Outer Wilds. It's like the studio they don't want to hold your hand. The developer does not want to hold your hand, let you figure it out, make Rob flip his desk over, and just have like a very atmospheric world that you have to figure out how to navigate. And the sound design and atmosphere is weird in that game, man. But so I would say Animal Well, but I'm also not confident voting here. But anyway,
yeah, Animal Well had really cool effects as well. Like I remember playing that game at PAX, and it was surprising how well that game ran and played. And so I would say Animal Well as well. I know it has a learning curve to it, but that's how it was made and intended to play. So yeah, definitely Animal Well for me. Although Neva, I do like Neva for sure.
Yeah, Neva's the one that I kind of I'm bleeding towards right now, because I just hear constantly like just constant good things about that game, and you got to play this game, and it's a beautiful story. So I'm probably gonna go Neva just because I'm so intrigued.
Yeah.
To play it. Also, piggyback off UFO 50, my buddy was telling me about that game, and I was like, telling me about the concept. He's like, yeah, it's just like a game that's 50 games, but they're all freaking dope games. And I'm like, that sounds cool. Like that sounds really sick to just like. And you look at all the reviews on Steam, it's like 10 out of 10, like for that game. So
there's something about the concept too, because like it's one of the reasons I love Game Pass is not just because like the games I get to play, but I also get to know these studios. That's something else I love about Game Pass. I'm getting to know these studios that I've never tried out before, and that's kind of the whole concept of UFO 50. The narrative in that game is you're getting to fictional, you're getting to follow this studio and all the games that they've made, and I think that's like a really cool concept of a plot, if you will, if that even is a plot. But yeah, cool beans. However, last comment is that sadly, I feel like Balatro will just take the category because that's how it goes. Every year, whenever the indie game is nominated for Game of the Year, it's like, well, that spoils how that category is going to go. So I don't think it's ever not been like Yeah.
Yeah, it's like on the App Store, 5.0, 17K ratings, Editor's Choice Awards, like #1 in strategy, like on the App Store. That's
Yeah.
tough to beat, man. That's tough
Yeah.
to beat.
I do feel like
Unfortunately.
Belantro is gonna sweep.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best community support. And
Ah.
recognizing a game for outstanding community support and transparency, responsiveness, and inclusiveness of social media activity and game updates and patches. You got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. And I just want to check really quick here. Yeah, so then best ongoing will be afterwards. So
Okay.
there's a debate to have here. But I don't know if you both have much to say on this, but I will say for strictly what this category is, there's a difference between community support and ongoing.
Yes.
The way I see the difference is community support, it's the attentiveness to like Twitter and
Yes.
Steam reviews and all these things, and they're just like interacting with the community. Ongoing game is the amount of content that you are adding and making, like, you know, filling the experience and everything. So they're two different things. So in that vein, I'm like, from everything I've heard, I think Helldivers 2 should take this. Okay. And I say that because like the guy that was in charge of the studio was addicted to his Twitter, man.
Yeah.
He was all about it, bouncing back and forth with people, and then just like, look, like PlayStation made us do this, like come down, and like he was just constantly on that. So I would vote Helldivers 2 here personally. But how about you?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I was watching his feed blow up and him responding to almost every single message. Like, it was impressive to say the least of how, you know, attentive he was to his followers and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say Helldivers 2 just because of the amount of feedback that they received and the way they were able to communicate with their audience was pretty impressive. Yeah, Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with No Man's Sky
Blazer.
on this, man.
Which one?
No Man's Sky.
Nice.
Just
Okay.
That's not a bad pick, man. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, like I said, that team is always pushing boundaries with the updates and letting them know what's going on with the game, like, and just really try to listen to any feedback that what's going on with the game. And you look at the game where it was when it first came out, and it's like they're on top of it. You know what I mean? They're on top of this game, and I think that's something to be said. So,
yeah,
No Man's Sky.
You guys
Ultimate
like this
Blazer.
category?
What's up?
You guys like this category? Is this a
I
category
do.
that you
I
would-
think
yeah.
I don't
Important
like
one.
I don't love it, you know, but I do think it's a good thing to acknowledge.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's the way I'll put it. It's like I think it's a good thing to acknowledge, especially in this day and age that so many games are, you know, actively building or live service or whatever. So, yeah, like it's not a favorite of mine, but I think it's like this was a category I was really rooting for Halo Infinite in 2023 because the community was like the only thing keeping that game alive, and
Right.
and it didn't get nominated, but that's because it wasn't top of mind, anyways. But for best ongoing, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player's experience over time, you got Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. This is one that's really debatable to me. And I admit, like, it's especially off of word of mouth I'm going off of here, which I feel like live service games, it's kind of fair to just kind of see from the outside looking in how it's going. I will say I think I might go a little bit biased here because this was the year Diablo 4 got me. And that's because of like the new seasonal stuff they added. And legit, if you actually look at Diablo fans, they say this, like, it made the game so much better over time. And they just like, they fixed the loot. They added a new loot system and like they added these hell tives. And then of course there's the Vessel of Hatred as like a full additional campaign, basically like Erdtree. I think in terms of the content that was being added, I think Diablo 4, I don't want to say killed it, but they basically nearly killed it to me. So I would say that. How about you, Rob? If you have a say here.
Final Fantasy 14, just because I only hear great things with every expansion that they come up with. There's a lot of hype. I mean, we went to PAX East, and they had the Dawn Trail, exhibit there, and packed to the brim to play the newest expansion. They're always pushing the envelope with that. And again, you look at the redemption song that game had, right, where they literally blew it up, and then now it's just like every expansion's been pretty great, and they're doing well on PlayStation. Also, I don't know if they're on Xbox right now, but if they're not already on it, then so they're just doing a really good job with what they're trying to do with that series. So I'm gonna go 14, and I'm always tempted to go into that world. I'm always tempted compared to everything else. So.
Rob, you're engaged. Don't do it. You don't want to lose that, don't you?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're 100% right.
That's what Paris Lily always says. Like, I'm not going to play Final Fantasy 14. I'm not going to play Elder Scrolls Online because I'm married and I love her.
Yep.
How about you, Kel?
It's funny. I was hoping to
if you have anything here,
yeah, I was hoping to see No Man's Skies on this one because to me, that one I would say is an ongoing game that has been pushing, several years now and continuing to support it and, giving as much content as possible. So I kind of am a little disappointed that it's not here, but regardless, I will probably have to say Final Fantasy 14 takes it for me because I don't know if it's Onyx that's doing this to us, but he does a really good job of persuading, playing these amazing games. And the way he talks about these specific games just really nails it for us. And it just makes it feel like, yeah, this game, they've been doing so well. And it's, again, Final Fantasy 14, it has like this redemption story of like, hey, this wasn't doing well when it first came out, and look at it now. It's still being, talked about. There's a, it has a fan base, and it's being nominated every time for, specific titles. So I think Final Fantasy 14 takes it for me.
Cool. Back to the usual. Folks, if you are watching, let us know. And if you are enjoying, drop your emotes and what you think so far, if anything got snubbed. And, for this category, admittedly, I don't know if I have too much to say. There's games for Impact, for a thought-provoking game with the pro-social meaning or message. You got Closer the Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzara, Zao. Fun fact about the Game Awards, if there is 6 nominees for a category, that means that it was really close. If you did not know that. That means that because there's usually supposed to be just up to 4 or 5. But if it's like really close, then they usually do 6 and fit that other one in. So there was a lot of ideas here is what I'm saying, because this has 6 noms. But I can't speak for this. I don't know. Like, I could see why they're all here, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I'm down to move on unless you got something. But
I feel like with this, you have to play every single one and
spot on. Yeah,
you have to, and you to decide which is the best one. And yeah, I can't say nothing. So
yeah,
Ultimate Glacier
says
Hellblade
probably
too.
Hellblade? Question mark.
Yeah,
maybe sure.
Maybe.
Hellblade is, I would argue, the most mainstream one here for sure. Hellblade.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that'll give it an advantage, but I would certainly hope whatever wins, it's because of the message that it had.
Sure.
Yeah, but sorry, Kel. Anything?
Hellblade 2, I had a good time with. That's it.
I
don't know anything else.
Yeah. All right. Another one. I don't know if we have anything. Innovation and accessibility. I have nothing on this. Mostly because I feel like all three of us, we can't really speak to it, but it's cool. It's another neat category to acknowledge. But I just don't have anything. Do you guys want to mention anything on this or?
Nope, I can't speak to it. So
I don't have anything, but I remember, like, if I look back at The Last of Us Part 1, for example, I remember them doing a great job of highlighting what accessibility options they have, right? So I think that was kind of like a key factor into that game, and they were making sure that they've implemented a lot of things for that. I don't know if any of these titles did a great job of really, kind of highlighting those accessibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would certainly hope so. And for reference, if I do upload this as audio, you got Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age of the Veilguard, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws. So I'm sure they're here for a reason, but reasons that we three just personally can't speak on. Okay, now we're back at it. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion, and or performance capture. keep that part in mind. Brianna White for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, who is, I believe, Aerith, right? I looked into it. I'm pretty sure it's Aerith.
Yes, I think it's Aerith. Yeah.
So Brianna White for Final Fantasy Rebirth, Aerith. Hannah Tell, Life is Strange, Double Exposure. I'm assuming for Max. Humberly Gonzalez for Star Wars Outlaws, the main character. Luke Roberts for Silent Hill 2, the main character. And Milena Jurgens for Senua Saga Hellblade 2, who plays Senua. I definitely have a comment. Kel, I don't know if you have something.
Kelv?
Yeah, this one's tough because I feel like for this category,
You have to witness it, man. Like that's the hard part.
Yeah, that's tough.
You have to really be there, and the only thing that's really sticking me right now is Hellblade 2, right? So Melina, I mean, she always does a great job, a phenomenal job of like really becoming that character. Hell, she is that character, right? So it's hard to really choose because again, you just have to really listen to these performances kind of like right then and there to like really understand the impact that they're giving you.
Can I ask both of you a question because you've both played Rebirth? Do you feel Brianna White firmly, like, of all the cast, like she's the standout, would you say?
Probably. Barrett doesn't really.
You both debate. Barrett's a shout. Nick said the same thing. He's like, I was gonna say Brianna White first too, but Barrett's like the runner up. So
yeah. Cloud is just a mute. He's yeah.
There's really not that many standouts in my opinion on Final Fantasy. Like Barrett, Brianna, but
Yuffie.
No one really
Whoever plays Yuffie does a good job too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I would say whenever Aerith was on screen in that game, I would just be like, and just kind of harped on every word, right? So I'm going to go with Brianna White just because that performance was really good. When Aerith was on screen, you would just be there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it to her, honestly, out of that cast. So, yeah, I'm going to give her the vote.
There's some love. Duke Togo says James Sunderland's voice actor for best performance. Nick also vouches for Luke Roberts, like, for James Sunderland, who's the main character of Silent Hill 2. I've heard a lot of good about Luke Roberts' performance in that. Sure. And I've also, like, as much as Star Wars Outlaws, like, you know, it reviewed around that 7 area, a lot of people seem to like Humberly, the girl that performed the character. So I think the weakest one here, personally, is Hannah Tell for Life is Strange. Not because she did bad, but just I feel like compared to these other people here, I'm all in on Melina. Like, but again, this is a category that's kind of hard to vote on unless you really watch a few scenes, if you will.
Yes.
Which actually you can. This is probably one of the few categories that you could actually just watch a few scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason I would say Melina is because the description. Awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion, and or performance capture. Melina was not the voice in this game. She had to perform. Also trying to, oops, there we go. Okay, so there's that. And I hope if we're back, I lagged out everybody. And I'm trying to make sure we are back in the game. Oh gosh dang it, now Rob's in a different place.
Back in the game. EA Sports.
EA Sports. I was talking about Melina. Actually, I think it is Melina.
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 Looks like chat's back. They're saying they're responding. So. I think
Hola.
Yeah, I see Steffi saying all good.
We're back.
It is raining outside, and I live in the washing of ton, so I hope. I don't know.
So it rains all the time there.
All the time right now.
Does it make you like depressed that it's raining? That it rains so much,
dude?
There,
It sometimes does, man.
Okay.
It really does. Gosh dang it, Kel's fine, but Rob, I lost your picture.
No.
Rob's always, you know what I mean.
I got lost in the sauce.
I'm sure it sounded like you guys caught the beginnings of my.
We were gonna take over. We thought you just
left.
No, the stream definitely. Like if I was gone, then the stream was gone. Sadly.
Let's go.
Oh, there we go. I got Rob back. Out of time. Cool. Okay, I think I got everybody back.
All right, and we back.
Rob,
we back.
Kel.
Hey guys.
Okay. Yes, we're all back. Okay, great. Okay, sorry about that, gang. I hope we can get through the end of this. But yeah, it sounded like I got cut off at Melina, and you guys caught my point, which is just like performance is more than just the voice for her. It's like the whole package. So
Sure.
anyways, that's why I would pick her. But Chad, if you're back and still here, let us know. I'm sorry about that.
I think chat can see our Discord conversation. I think
Maybe.
They shouldn't right now. It was up for a smidge of a second, but
okay.
God said, yes, you're back. Supertone, I'm sure what's happening, but I was absent a bit because of power issues. Supertone, you're a fellow Washingtonian, if I remember right. So yeah, we're just having problems in over here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next category and keep going. So,
Do it.
best audio design. Recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design, we have Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Is this just a lock? I think Hellblade 2 is this, no question.
I was just gonna say, man, Hellblade 2 sweeps it in my opinion. Playing most
for
of
best
these
audio
Silent
design,
Hill.
dude.
Yeah, it's a sweep.
I don't know. Like to me, it's just they're so. It's.
Rob, you got something to say?
Oh boy.
Oh God, he's gonna say Final Fantasy.
Let me just say, like, probably to speak for me and Kel, like to me, Hellblade 2, which was my most anticipated game of the year, that didn't live up to my hopes, but still, I can't argue the performance and sound design in that game. But the sound design, it literally, like the first game, and maybe that's the con, the first game already did it, so whatever. But regardless, they do such a good job of, you have to play this thing with headphones, you will hear it literally behind you and in front of you and circle around you, and some might find that annoying, but it is part of the immersiveness that you are experiencing what Senua experiences, and that's why they designed it like that, and they did a great job. So I would,
if it's for design, then yeah, we'll do Senua. I was like, oh, it's just audio, but like no, it's just the audio design specifically, then I'll give it to Senua for sure.
Yeah. What were you thinking, like the sound FX kind of a thing?
Yeah, just like overall.
Then yeah, that would be different.
Yeah, but we'll give it Senua because I think it blows all of these out of the water when it comes to that. But Silent Hill probably is pretty good too because they have an atmosphere they have to build. So
yeah. I'm always happy to see any horror game get nominated for best audio because that's what you want in a horror game.
Yeah,
like you don't want it, but you want it, kind of a thing.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Give it all. Give it to me.
No.
Yeah, it's one of those moments, man. Like Kel, did you get all the way through Hellblade 2?
Oh, I beat it.
Yeah, the caves. That's all I'll say.
That was the worst part.
The caves is definitely the worst part, but there's a point that things show up.
Yes.
And that with the audio, I was like, I don't like being here.
Bugging out. I think Rob, that's where he stopped.
Yep.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. He stopped.
That's a tough part to get through if you're not into horror. But
yeah.
But here you go. So speaking of, it's not sound effects, but you got score and music for outstanding music.
This one's
so hard.
This is a tough one, man. But for outstanding music, inclusiveness of score, original song, and/or licensed soundtrack, you got Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade. I have only heard from word of mouth how much Stellar Blade soundtrack actually kind of slaps, but I don't know if I can really. This is one of those categories that I'll vote at the very last minute because I need to listen to these, and I know it helps when you when you're playing the game. The score is also important to consider what you're experiencing in that moment.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, but I don't know if you both sounded struggling here. So maybe Rob, why are you struggling?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just had an overall just like I can listen to that soundtrack in the car driving and it's just fantastic, and it was just a joy to hear that in the game. But Atlas does this thing where they know how to get songs really, really stuck in your head, and it's like catchy. Even the fight song, it's just like right. But I'm gonna have to stick to my guns, and my gut tells me to go Final Fantasy Rebirth. That's what my gut tells me to pick. Not because obviously I'm a huge fan, but I think as a panelist, like there's just so much variation with all the different types of songs and for different moments in the game. I will go Rebirth. Again, I haven't completed Metaphor, so there could be a lot more variation than you know. But we're gonna go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I have a buddy that's like, he's like, my favorite part about Metaphor being nominated for Game of the Year is we might actually get an appearance from the monk.
Oh,
that would be so sick.
That would be amazing.
They have to, right? Like it would be like that year
They
that like
should.
Mario, when Odyssey got nominated, they got like the singer to show up. And I
Yeah,
hope,
they gotta do that.
guys, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna see that.
Oh my
I'm
god.
gonna see
I'm
that.
so jealous. I'm so jealous. I hate
Dude,
you.
if the monk comes out, you know that crowd's gonna explode.
You're gonna lose your mind, dude.
Yeah.
I-
Kel, how about you?
I'm kind of undecisive, honestly.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
It's a
definitely
tough
toss-up.
one. It's a tough one.
I don't have anything to say about Silent Hill, but I'm sure it has like decent music, right? But I think I'm gonna have to pick Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because
Good man.
Good man. Good man.
the music in that game, the licensed soundtrack is at this point it's kind of
Iconic.
solidified. Exactly solidified into the gaming industry. Like when you hear a Final Fantasy VII song, like music, right? Like you hear that and you know, oh, that's Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. Like what else can I say? Like it's Final Fantasy VII.
Did either of you play Stellar Blade?
Yes. Demo, though, not the complete game.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I would be curious to hear anybody that's played that and what they think, because I don't know. I hear it's more Nier Automata, essentially, which is basically what the game itself is anyway.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Which that game had a fantastic soundtrack too. So, I don't know. This is one that I'll have to wait until later on, because admittedly, I can only vouch for Astrobots, and I'm sure like the remixes of Rebirth is dope. And I have heard actually somewhat of Metaphor, but yeah, I'll wait on this one. So I will be the outlier here, but we have Best Art Direction, and this is a category I actually pretty much love every year for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. And let me say before going off here, well, actually, no, first let me read these off. So we have Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Metaphor ReFantazio, and Neva. Now,
Never.
this is one of those things that, like the Game Awards, I feel like there's just certain categories that I would love to either come back or bring in and maybe get rid of esports and just have your own esports show or something to make use of it. But I wish there was a category for best like technical achievement. Something like that or something, you know, because I was a little bit surprised to not see Hellblade 2 here, with it being like, literally, I pulled the community. It's like the most shocking visual game that we've ever seen, you know, for this next gen. But that's maybe not necessarily art direction. That's what people, you know, put here. So I don't know. That's just like a brief little comment that I have. But I get everything here.
This is such like a subjective category, I think too.
Totally.
Because it's beauty in the eye of the beholder when it comes to this stuff. Like you could think that the way that Black Myth Wukong's art direction was really beautiful, and the way they were doing, you know, the Chinese culture and stuff like that, or you think like the gothic feel of Shadow of the Erdtree was really, really great, or you love the animation. So it's gonna really just like, it's really a toss up, right? It depends on the person how you do art direction, you know.
You got to pick one.
Yeah, Metaphor. For
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, because it says for outstanding creative and technical achievement in artistic design and animation, Atlas, they are masters when it comes to menus and the way things kind of feel, and like the animation, even just like the battle animation of you just going in, your character's eyes turning like glowing, and then you're like in the battle, and then the way you win, like
it's the style, man. Style.
Yeah, it's just like they're just smashed with the crafts when they come to animation, and it just feels like you literally feels like you're playing an anime, right? Like you're watching the anime, but you're playing the anime, and that's to me is a huge kudos to them. So I'm gonna give it a Metaphor.
Yeah, Gotham Guardians, like Metaphor, the menu design alone is 3 times more creative than the whole other games.
Yeah, yeah.
The menu,
you're
I have
right.
seen the
You're
menu.
not
That
wrong.
shit is the coolest menu I've ever seen.
It's too cool for me, man. Like I'm just like, how the hell do they do this all the time?
Yeah,
And
They just
always,
they
like,
don't have to.
somehow-
That's the thing. They don't have
don't
to,
have
but they
to,
do.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure they put so much time and effort just on the menus alone. Like they probably have a dedicated team just for the menus.
It's I think it's to give like to make it more addictive to you, right? And not make it feel boring,
You're
right?
gonna be on the menus all the time, so you might as well make it something that people like to see, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is another tough one for me.
Yeah.
I was on the fence of Metaphor, but then you kind of brought me back to it because I will say, although Metaphor artistically looks nice and great, and obviously the menus look amazing, from a gameplay perspective, the animations I feel like they're a little outdated. It just doesn't really stand out to me, in my opinion. Besides the menus look phenomenal, but gameplay wise, it just doesn't do too much for me.
Cool
I
character designs too. Cool character.
I'm
designs.
sorry.
Cool character designs too. I would argue.
Cool character designs. Yep. But I think Black Myth Wukong to me makes it's hard because best art direction I don't really think of Wukong, but then when I read the description here we're saying like technical achievement in artistic design and animation, I feel like Black Myth Wukong.
Levi, I'm back. Goodness gracious me, oh my. We're back.
They just don't
Yep,
maybe
I'm
to
back.
add to the difficulty. Again, I'm
It's
not.
hard.
100%.
It makes it hard. I'm not
back.
gonna lie.
Oops. We're back.
Hi.
Yeah. You hear me?
Hey. Yes.
What a time. What a
We're
time.
back, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back.
And we're back, and we're back. Hello, everyone. My router, because people that follow me on Twitch know that every now and then OBS gives me trouble, but this is a day that actually it's my router that's losing internet, so this is a different experience. But we're all still in where I left us, and Kel, I was just basically agreeing with you. Black Myth Wukong is my personal pick.
Oh, awesome.
Because
okay, cool.
Because of everything like you were building up, I know like I'm resuming a conversation from 3 or 4 minutes ago. For the recording, we lagged out again, and hopefully that is the last time. Now that I've fully unplugged my router and plugged it back in, but yeah, I think Black Myth Wukong just like embodies what you were saying, like the technical achievement of animation as well. But even though they had the lore to base off of, I feel like they still had to make the lore come to life. You know, they had to make the armors and all these creatures and everything and just actually bring it all to life. And they did it in such a highly technical way too. So for that reason, I would, if I was the jury, I would vote Black Myth Wukong. But I think these are all solid picks, but yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, but in the stream, it will be like I just jumped in on the Kelvin there, but he was basically building up to that too. So yeah. We're gonna go to the next one. Sorry, Art Direction, that you had the interruption, but we have best narrative, and let us know if you're still here, chat. We have best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Little controversial. I can't say for sure, but I feel Silent Hill 2, unless it's like a little bit of a reimagining. I just feel like kind of Rob was making his case earlier. I feel a little bit weird about remakes getting nominated for
narrative.
You know, like something that already existed.
Yeah.
You know, because you didn't write anything new. But fair, and I get it, and maybe there is good reasons it's here. And I hear Silent Hill 2 has an amazing story, so that's probably why.
So,
but
can the same be said about Final Fantasy Rebirth? I know it changes a lot of things drastically in some sense.
And that's what I would argue, is that there's a good deal of changes.
Yeah.
And maybe even additional stuff too, who knows, but
Right.
yeah. Any stand up for you, Rob?
I can't, without giving any spoilers. It is tough, right? Because I don't want to say anything about these stories and stuff like that. And I don't think we can really choose until we've actually beaten the games to go through the stories and see how each story unfolds. Because you could start off the story really great, but then it could end like crap, right?
Exactly.
So far, I'm liking where Metaphor is going with its story. I like that what they've presented to me. So I'm probably gonna have to go with Metaphor. Senua, Hellblade, like I played it, couldn't really get into it as much. I just know that like there's stuff going on in her head. Beautiful set piece, but you know I couldn't vibe with her as much as I wanted to.
As much as the
I
first
just
one.
know
Did you
there's
beat the
stuff
first
going
one?
on.
Yeah, I didn't beat the first one, so I can't do it.
Yeah.
No, Metaphor's a good shot, man. I've heard such great things. I've heard narrative-wise, these are all like this is a solid. There's a lot of solid categories in my opinion this year. Like I really do. I think so. And these are all like I've heard fantastic things about Infinite Wealth's narrative for sure. And like, I don't. This is another category that I don't feel I have a say just because the only one I have experienced is Hellblade 2. So everything else I'm just going off of word of mouth. So
Right.
I don't think I can say here. I will say I'm a little bit surprised to see Hellblade 2 because I thought it would be like overshadowed by
the other ones. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I thought like the overall game's quality would like affect it coming to mind with narrative. But like I thought I would see Neva here essentially instead. But
Sure.
Oh, I see.
but I totally like I get it. I think it's fair to be here, but yeah, I don't have any picks. How about you, Kel?
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick again, but I think it's because Metaphor I'm still trying to, way at. And so again, I haven't really gotten to the point where I say, this story has grabbed me and I want to continue playing this game until I finish the story. I haven't gotten there yet. Senua was good, but I actually enjoyed the story in the first one much better. Like
I fully agree. Fully agree, Kel.
Yeah, the way they presented the story in the first one was really more engaging, in my opinion. This one just felt kind of, I don't know. There was something about it, something off that I really can't really choose or decide as to what it was right now. But I think Final Fantasy overall is my pick here because they really focused on a lot of the important parts of what made Final Fantasy VII great, and so just adding onto it and kind of changing some of the narrative to make it more presentable in 2024 standards, I think was really an achievement on their end. So I'm choosing Final Fantasy VII.
It's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
Can't go wrong.
This is kind of where I think most of these I don't think you can really go wrong. The only ones I would probably question is Hellblade 2 or Silent Hill 2, but I think the left three are pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost there. We're almost done.
Woo!
Best game direction awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Keep that in mind. So
That's tough.
we have Astrobot from Team Asobi, Balatro from Local Thunk. We have Black Myth Wukong from Game Science, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree from Software, Final Fantasy VII, Square Enix, and Metaphor ReFantazio from Atlas/Studio Zero. Another category, we have 6, which means people were kind of tossing and turning, which is very fair because there's a lot of good options that you could submit, and there's reasons Balatro is here, man. Like I know the three of us can't necessarily vouch firsthand, but I would imagine all the hubbub is because it's like, even though it's just poker, you did something wild with this game. Yep.
I feel like I need to buy it. I feel like I just need to buy it. It's $10, and I just might just to come back to you guys, but guys, it's really good. You should probably get
I'm
it.
worried, man. Like it might be one of those things that gets really addictive. But it's here for a reason. That's why. Like, and C2's asking, do you guys make a distinction between game direction and best game? Oh, 100%. Like I personally define game direction as like you could sense what the studio intended. You can call out a lot of creative decisions, and it's also potentially leading, like setting an example for the industry to try something. Like I don't consider game direction and game of the year the same thing. I like game direction. There was the year that Resident Evil 7 was nominated, and I was like, that's a great nomination for game direction because they changed how Resident Evil has been from how it was in 4, 5, and 6. They like harkened it back to horror. It's first person. That was a huge direction change. So yeah, like in that vein, I'm just setting up game direction here. And that's why, like, for me, my pick here is like 100% Astrobot. And the reason I say that is because it's just, this is very biased. I will admit that. It's very biased because it's a case that I have preached for years, but I just want to see people that isn't Nintendo make games like this.
Yeah.
Like we just don't see that anymore. Every other game we see here, except Balatro tried something really crazy. Yeah. I would argue, we've seen Devil May Cry and Black Myth. We've seen previous FromSoft games with Shadow Archery. We've seen so on and so forth. Like, and it's not belittling these. I just feel like, and I guess you could argue, well, we've seen Mario and Astrobot. Fair.
Right.
But I just feel like it's cool that a studio did this on like a next-gen console in 3 years with 60 people and are setting the example, hey, we could do this in 3.5 years with a modest budget. So yeah. I'm kind of, and plus there's so many creative ideas they tried. That's the other thing. They keep throwing all these creative ideas at the wall that they keep executing. So that's the other reason too. So I for sure would say Astrobot.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Tony, on Astrobot, just because
my man.
Basically, no, you hit the nail on the head because you take Astral's Playroom, and they said this is a really good idea. How do we expand on it? So they didn't really expand on it. They just evolved it, right? They literally evolved it. It's like, okay, what's the next evolution of this? And they created that. They took this thing that wasn't supposed to be this humongous big hit, and they made it into a big hit. And that takes a lot of risks that were taken with this. And I like the entire time playing the game. It's just like you're like happy this game just exists. I wanted to pick Final Fantasy Rebirth only because like it is when you think of a remake of something, that is kind of like the first game I'm thinking of, right? Like the attention to detail that they put in, that they really wanted to pay homage to what that game is, and they didn't skimp on anything, right? But and I have this problem with a lot of games, with like the newer games that are out, it is an extension of remake. There wasn't, I mean, obviously there's a big open world now, but more or less the gameplay is very similar, right? As far as like the party system and stuff like
I
that.
see what you're saying. Yeah. It's more of.
It's more of just bigger and a little better, right? Whereas Astrobot, it's not just bigger. It is bigger, but they changed it to where it is actually a household name in a platformer. So it's like it stands tall with the Marios. So 100% Astrobot.
How about you,
Kelvin?
It's really between Astrobot and Belantro, and here's why. I think the big key factor that you guys didn't really touch on with Astrobot that makes it a huge differential here is the DualSense controller, right? Without the DualSense controller, I feel like it would be hard to really put this in this category, but the DualSense really is basically what this category is for, right? Creative design, vision, innovation, and Team Asobi made this game that is similar to what we played with Mario, but they used the DualSense to its advantage, and it's so well done. We have yet to see a game that utilizes DualSense the way it does, right? And so that's the innovative part. That's the vision, the creativeness side to it, right? And then when you look at Belantro, again, full disclosure, we have not played this game, Rob and I, so or Tony, so we don't really have much to say. But just knowing what we know about this game, it is innovative in itself, right? You have never seen or heard of a game that is like this, right? And so that in itself, I feel like should be the winner of this. If you take away the DualSense from Astrobot, it doesn't really have much, in my opinion, to like kind of have a leg to stand on, because like you said, Tony, it kind of falls within the Marios. It kind of like Wu-Tang it's been done before, Elden Ring has been done before. So I would probably, I'm going with Belantro on this.
Did you just say Wu-Tang instead of Wukong?
Did I say Wu-Tang?
You just said
I thought I heard that
Hey,
too,
man.
but I was like,
Hey,
I'm
man.
not sure if I heard that though.
Definitely Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? There is a Wu-Tang game. Isn't it? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's
yeah,
no,
definitely
Kel. That's a
Wukong.
really good point because you
Yeah.
listed like my example of like but how many times have we seen a poker game explode like Balantro's exploding?
sure.
And it's probably
Yeah.
for good reasons. That's super fair. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think it's fair. So if you had to vote, you said Balatro, right?
Balatro. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So we got 2 for Astro, 1 for Balatro. Fair. All right. Let's end this shindig. Woo! Game of the year. Recognizing a game that
Same
delivers the
categories.
absolute best. It's like literally the same exact things, but we're
Nothing
having a
changed.
different. Is it literally the same? Yeah, it is literally the same. So
Yeah.
it's literally the same, but it's for a different thing. So now recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Ooh.
So think of it in this way: direction. What are some things that they were trying that's really cool to see a studio do? And then
Yep.
game of the year, who had the best complete package, if you will? We have
Yeah.
Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasio. Kel, you ended us last time. How about you start us this time?
Yeah, I mean, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. I am gonna have to go with Astrobot on this one because the opposite of what we just talked about before, right? I think Astrobot delivers in the sense of giving you an experience that is a complete package, but also just a overall absolute amazing experience from start to end. Not saying none of these games do, right? All these other games
sure.
definitely do that, but I think Astrobot just gives you that like sense of, I think Rob said it best, where it just feels like you're happy that this game exists, and it just makes it that much more enjoyable to play.
Yeah. Rob, how about you?
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I knew it. I knew it.
Hey, let me give you my reasons why though.
No, I got you. Yeah.
This game has everything that you would want in a game. When I say that, like, Kelvin would say it has not just a combat. It has not just a combat. It has other things you can do in that game, and they have
Great
mini
mini games.
But not only do they have mini games, there's a card game, a really robust card game
That is true.
in the game. Queen's Blood, as well. I think who was the last game to do it? Probably Witcher 3 with Gwent, right, where they had the game inside, the game essentially. And just like you were happy you were on this adventure with your friends, and on a technical level, it's just a gorgeous, beautiful game. Like, absolutely, you see all the colors and sparks flying and all the different abilities that are happening and switching back between your party members and all the big boss fights. And again, like all the chocobos, like at some point you unlock all the different chocobos and their different modes of transportation, different locales. There's a jungle at one point you're on some islands, and at one point
biomes.
So like,
yes,
they did a really good job with that. And I'm not gonna say it's not perfect by any means, but I can honestly say any game on this list for the most part is not perfect, right? It has its issues. So I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I think, as that definition, I think it's technically probably the best one.
What do you think is the weakest one here, without too much reasons why? Because for me, I would shockingly, because I know there's controversy around Erdtree, but I would actually say Wukong is to me the weakest here, because not because the game's bad, but just like I've heard other games that reviewed better than Wukong. That's the only reason I say that. And if if Erdtree is eligible, then I'm like, quality, okay, but.
I will say, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say there was also a lot of technical issues when it first launched for Wukong. So that hurts it, in my opinion, when it comes to game of the year, So, yeah.
When it came to Wukong, it felt like a weird It almost felt like a PS3 game. When I say it, I mean it in the best way. It felt like a PS3 game, and it was like suspended in time, but like had like all the modern updates of all these things, like the invisible walls, and like I couldn't like some of the levels blended together. I'm like, can I actually go here? There was no like mini map, and I couldn't really tell where it was, and I would get confused. That shouldn't really happen in the game now. So just on a technical level, it's just some. It was kind of, I felt like this sometimes, like, in a box.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in because my lights flickered. So what is my personal game of the year? I've said it publicly many times that my game of the year is Astrobot, and I fully could to me, I think the top three here for sure: Rebirth, ReFantazio, and Astrobot. I think for sure those are the top three. Like, if it went to any of those three, totally understand. If Balatro took it, holy shenanigans. But
big upset, yeah.
That would be wild. But we've seen It Takes Two do that. But
It Takes Two, I was just going to say. Yeah.
But Astrobot, no, man, I just, rather than the direction reasons I said, I just think Astrobot, like Kel was saying, we're happy this game exists. I just had a smile on my face the entire time I played that game. And that's not going to be everybody, but like, that was a game that literally, I have so many clips of me just like bouncing on trampolines with all these coconuts flying in the air. Or I would just be using my laser to cut things to make a bunch of the numerous assets falling. So technically it was crazy too. And just how many times every level threw something different at me to keep things fresh all the time. And even the speedrun things, like if you want something to challenge you, there's like the levels that are like the square X and triangles or whatever, that they're like, if you want to try something challenging, good luck doing this. And it was from the start to finish, I was just entertained the whole time. And I don't know, the way I put it is I haven't played a game that has made me this happy in a very long time.
It's a good way of putting it.
I haven't felt this happy playing a game in so long, and I've enjoyed playing mini games, and I've had laughs and great experiences, but I feel like I haven't played a game like Astrobot in a very long time. So that's why I would say it's my game of the year. But I really would wonder what chat, what is your personal game of the year that maybe even isn't here? Maybe it's Warhammer 40K, maybe it's Hellblade 2. I've seen some people like who knows? Maybe it's Star Wars Outlaws. Whatever it is, that is totally fine, because you know what the thing is? This is an award show that the whole industry agrees on something. But whether Erdtree was nominated, eligible, whatever, you enjoy what you enjoy. You pick what you pick. You favorite what you favorite. And don't let our opinions or the industry's affect what you enjoy. What you had a smile on your face the whole time through. That's my moral message that I want to really share to people. Because even though it's an award show, you have your own award show. Because your opinion matters.
There you go.
So yeah.
I will say, again, based off of what the critique is right now with Elden Ring being on the list here, if it does win, do you see that? Do you think, is there going to be backlash because of Elden Ring winning?
Backlash.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
there will be backlash 100%, because it'll feel like it stole from these other works.
And again, whenever there's 6 things, that means it was a close thing, and I fully believe that Erdtree is in that back 4 through 6. I truly I don't know that, but I fully believe that the quality was there. It was worthy enough to, in their mind, as an experience, this was one of the best experiences I had all year, and that's why they put it. But I just don't see it topping Rebirth, Fantasio, or Astrobot personally. Yeah. But yes, sorry, Cal. Hypothetically, yes, if it did though, it'll be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, I would almost feel like, because of the backlash, I think Jeff will maybe reconsider if, obviously there's more people in his team than just Jeff, but they would consider maybe making its own category, right? Of having a DLC category of some sort, or a expansion
that at the least,
category.
Man. Yeah.
You don't think so?
No, I'm saying that at the least. I don't think they'll change the eligibility requirements or whatever. No. But it's we see, like I said earlier, Balatro, Celeste, Stray, whenever the
Yeah.
best independent game gets nominated for Game of the Year, we know who's going to win best independent game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say like that's the same thing for like best DLC or expansion of the year. That might still be a thing that we're just going to nominate what is our favorite experience this year.
Yeah.
But at the least, if there's a DLC category, I think people will be less pressure to have nominated it. Because that's the thing. They'll still can, but because there's DLC, it's like, okay, I can shout it out here. I won't feel as bad. So,
Exactly.
yeah, we'll see.
We shall see.
That is our show, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Rob and Kel, thank you so much for coming by. Any final words before we go?
No, I mean, I think the message is here, like, regardless of with the whole Elden Ring thing, it is an experience that people loved and played. The fact that it's here, that tells you that it was very good at what it did, and people enjoyed it. And don't harp on that too much and ruin what these other games have done. And just like Tony said, pick what you enjoyed, and that's all that matters, right? So, yeah.
I will, echo that as well, and just say, I understand it. It's important to, bring your message across, especially if there's something that you don't agree with, but just do it in a respectful way. Because I did see a lot of like hate on social media, and a lot of people just kind of like. So I understand. Maybe this might be for the better, but just kind of presents it in a way where it's more of a critique and more of a suggestion rather than hate, right? So maybe, who knows, Jeff might change this up next year, and this might be the information that he needs to collect in order for him to do that. So always voice your opinion, but do it in a respectful way.
Always voice your opinion, but in a respectful way. Kel, that is spot on it. Folks, I love your opinion, and that's why I make content for you. And I hope I will see your opinions with the Game Awards next month when I go online, not online, in person. Because it's going to be weird to not watch it with you. But in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter. You can stay tuned for a potential 3 years later Halo Infinite video. We'll see. I got some stuff cooking, as well as some very deep emotional stuff I will be sharing while I'm on this North Carolina trip. But I hope you enjoyed this conversation between Rob, Kel, and me. And I hope you have a great week. Don't forget to be geek, proud, awesome. And I'll see you soon. Bye.
See you guys.